What's up, everybody? It's 12 Volt Tony. Today's video is sponsored by Tent and Car Audio Concepts. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tony, and I am a master installer. And you can look at that several different ways. There's a lot of people out there, they specialize in certain fields. And me, myself, I'm proud to wear the title master, and it was given to me by master installers. You'll tend to run into certain installers that'll just say, well, I only do this, or I only do that, or I only do specific things. Well, me, I've been part of the industry for about 32 years now, and I'm a car enthusiast. So I chose to dive right into car audio, window tint, engines, automotive repair, vehicle wraps, auto alarms, um, what else? Plethora of things. And what you do is you master each one of those to a master level. Some people are, you'll run into a few guys and they'll say, well, I jack of all trades, master of none. No, these particular areas are areas that I had to pass certifications and become qualified to pass certain levels in each avenue or area of that particular trade. Um, so the reason I'm making this video is because every now and then I'll run into one or two of my buddies and they'll say, "Oh, are you still uh, doing car audio? Oh, are you still wrapping vehicles? Oh, are you still doing window tint? Oh, oh." So I figured what I would do is I'd just make a video to show everybody one of my latest builds. Now, you, as an installer, you have what's called an install and you have what's called a build. To each one, you take pride in each one and you do each to the best of your ability, and you make sure that you do an outstanding job, based upon industry standards and what's required of the install. So an install could just be one particular item: radio, amplifier, lights, mobile entertainment. A build is when the customer tends to drop off just a rolling chassis or an engine and a frame. And then the customer says, hey, look, it's a lot of work. I don't have time to do the necessary research. Just go ahead, build it for me. And with no further ado, what I'll do is I'll walk you through my latest build. This is one I completed about 2 weeks ago. What I like to do is start you off with this little doodad. This is a bezel, and this piece right here was made by Metra. It is what is the model number on this one? I don't see the model number on it, but make a long story short, the vehicle that we took in, the dashboard was completely destroyed. I mean, the top of it was broken, the bezel was broken. So the first thing that we had to do is we had to replace the entire dashboard and replace it with an aftermarket bezel. And sometimes when you do this, they can have a few gaps in them and stuff like that, because nothing's going to fit like factory. But in this case, this one fit together pretty nice. And end result was pretty amazing. So next, I'd like to bring in, this is the actual vehicle. This is a 2003 Dodge Ram. It is a 3500, and it is an amazing truck. I don't know if you can tell by looking, this is the aftermarket dash. I had to install that dashboard. I mean, it was completely cracked and broken. I mean, you could see into the air conditioned vents. Right here, if you notice, the airbag is a little bit different color than the actual dash itself. So I had to go in there and I had to install that dash. I don't know if you can also notice, but there are no windows. There's no glass in the truck at all. So this is what qualifies this vehicle as a build. I mean, it did have the engine. It had the engine in there. And when we got it, shout out to 60 Steve, buddy of mine, and I'll put a link to his shop. He did an amazing paint job. The paint on this vehicle is actually when I got it, the paint was 1 or 2 days old. Amazing paint job. He always does amazing work. And let's see here. Okay, which brings us to this little guy right here. This little guy. Whoa, wait a minute. I think I clicked him off there. Let me go back here. It's going to bring us to this little guy right here. There we go. This little guy right here, this is a Kenwood high resolution, high definition amplifier. When it comes to music in general, some people want SPL, other people want SoundQ. So you would want to do a high res or high resolution amplifier if you're into quality of music. You know, a lot of musicians, and speaking of quality, I like to say that I'm in a shop where the guys are doing LS swaps. So they're installing engines right next door to me. And I cheer those guys on. You know, they'll get to a point where they'll get that engine dropped in there, and man, they want to hear them cylinders. So so throughout my videos, you're gonna always hear cars burning rubber. You're gonna hear guys revving engines. That's just something that's gonna always be in my videos because in the area that I am, there's a lot of talented and gifted people over here that work on vehicles. So anyway, going back to high resolution, what a high resolution amplifier does is it enhances the feel as well as the sound of live instruments. So when you get people that play the piano or they play guitars or they play live instruments, what they're listening for the actual feel of the note. They're listening for the feel or the breath being blown through an air instrument. And they want to be able to actually hear the wind or basically feel the amount of pressure. And that's what high resolution car audio does. When it comes to SPL is the tuning of your bass. So right here, what you'll notice right here is that this is my high resolution amplifier. It's a little bit dusty. All that is dust. I wipe it off. But I paired up the Kenwood XR 401.4 with the XR 60-1. And the 60-1, that's my monoblock amplifier. And if you look at it, what you're actually looking at is that this particular customer right here, he wanted both amplifiers mounted, but he didn't want screws showing through the back of the pickup truck because it was a brand new paint job. So that would be insane to drill screws through the back of the truck. So what I did is I made a nice little amp stand, kind of an amp rack, amp stand. And to give you a better idea of what that really looks like, it actually looks like this in the truck. Now, you can see where the truck has been fully dynamated. It's got sound dampening because we want clarity. We want high res. We're listening for quality of the amplifiers. So that amp rack that's in there, again, we can't just screw those amplifiers to the back wall. So we've got to screw them down. And that's why we made an amp rack. And we wanted it to have enough leverage to where it would, hold the weight of the amplifiers, not flop around or anything like that. It can rest against the back of the wall of the truck, but we needed that amp rack to be able to screw down. And which will bring us to our next slide, being, let's take another look at this one. Oh yeah, see, this is a really great picture of it right there. That's another photo of the actual amp rack. You can see where I wrapped it with the black vinyl to kind of give it a carbon fiber look. And all the RCA jacks, I try to keep them uniform. I try to keep my wires braided. I forgot to call that out in the picture earlier. Let me go back to that picture because that is something that I'd like to point out. This one right here. If you'll notice, I like to braid the ends of the wires and also put metal clamps on them so that when I stick them into the amplifier, those metal clips will be in there and it gives your screws something to bite down onto so that they'll stay inside of the amplifier. So you don't have to worry about shorts or wires coming out. And that is what we consider, that's what we call 9-wire. 9-wire is where all your speaker wires are running through one cable. And again, here, there's another picture of our dashboard. And that's the dash with the new bezel, as well as the replacement dash. And that this is the Pioneer, I want to say it's an NEX 5000. It is a single DIN floating Apple CarPlay wireless receiver, radio, Apple CarPlay wireless. It's an amazing piece. The only thing is that this one, when you're installing it, it has ribbon cables. So you have to be careful not to break that ribbon cable, or if you do, then it's not going to work. Also, something that was really important was that we not block the air condition vents. So you can see the air condition knobs, they're accessible. And then also the air condition vents, those are also accessible so that you can feel the air. And now we shall go forward to our next slide here. These are Alpine 6.5s. In this particular vehicle, it had dual 6.5s in the back, and then it had 6x9s in the front with plenty of sound dampening. We use Stinger, we use the Dynamat so that we get crystal clear sound. This customer, he really loves his music, and he wanted nothing but the best, and that's what we delivered. This next slide, this shows where we basically took up everything that was bolted and screwed down, and we laid the carpet in this vehicle. So that's part of the build, laying carpet, doing headliner. This carpet is completely brand new. We had to cut it out, lay it down, no used carpet. This truck's gonna look like a 2026 when we're done with the build. On our next slide, we will show you here. This is gonna be our last and final slide. This build, it is completed, but this is where I left off. Not only did we install the windows, we also tinted the windows, and we also did I believe a 70% front windshield, full front windshield, courtesy of Expel window tint. completely ceramic, which is going to give you 98% heat rejection. Um, to each is on. Some people want privacy, some people want heat rejection. I would definitely say that the ceramic window tint is a better way to go. I mean, it's a true lifetime warranty film. It gives you maximum heat rejection as well as privacy. And that's going to wrap it up for our build for today. And stay tuned. We've got plenty other builds to go. Thank you again. And I'm out.